Okay, today is September 14th, 2020, and this is your social studies lesson for the week. First off, I want to talk about the Mastery Connect test. I put in grades over the weekend, and a lot of you still have not completed this test. It is posted on Google Classroom. There's a video that tells you how to log in. This is a pre-test. This is it's like a do your best kind of test. You don't have to study for this. Just go on there and take it, and you'll get a grade for it. Okay. If you don't take the test, you're going to be failing currently because it's the only mastery grade I have in the grade book. So please go and get that test finished. Okay. This week we're going to be working on an assignment called The Lost Colony of Roanoke. This is an assignment we're going to be working on for both of our meetings this week. Wednesday, you're going to have a different video to watch, but for both of our in-person meetings, we're going to be working on this Lost Colony of Roanoke assignment. So I have it posted on Google Classroom, and there's a bunch of attachments on there. But what I want you to focus on is the slides. The slides is what you're going to be filling out as we go. Okay, it looks like this: History, Mystery, The Lost Colony of Roanoke. Okay, so I'm going to explain real quick how you need to do this assignment. So if you go on to Google Classroom, you'll see all this stuff posted. I have a bunch of attachments on here. The attachments are me reading these sources that are on this Google Slides out loud. Okay, so if you want to go read through the sources and have someone like reading it in the background, that's what those are for. They're all labeled so you can see. It'll say like Lost Colony of Roanoke Introduction, Source A, Source B, Source C. They're all labeled on there. Okay, so if you need someone to read those in the background, you can use those attachments. If not, you don't have to. I have all of the sources posted on here on the slideshow, so you can just read these yourself if you don't want someone to read along with you. Okay. So it starts here. This is the introduction, the crime report. Okay. I have this read out loud and attached already, so I'm not going to do this again. But read through this. This sets up the assignment. Then there is a short video. It's like a two or 3 minute introduction video that I want you to watch. So go ahead and watch that. And this is our essential question for the assignment. We're trying to figure out what happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. Now, if you remember from last week in our notes, we talked about Roanoke. It was one of the first settlements in North America, and it ends up disappearing. The people completely disappear, and we're not sure what happened to them. So that's what we're going to be investigating this week. What happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? That's the question we're trying to answer throughout this entire assignment. Okay. Then go to slide 4. Slide 4 is the instructions. It says, this week we will be examining several sources to determine what happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. Follow the steps below to complete this assignment. Step 1 says, read each source one at a time. Step 2, once you have finished reading a source, advance to the next slide and answer the questions about that source. And then step 3, it says, keep the essential question in mind. What happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? Okay. So today is Monday or Tuesday, depending on when you're meeting with me. We're just going to work on the first 4 sources today. Okay. On Thursday and Friday, we'll work on source 5 and 6 and the wrap up for this assignment. But today, you're going to do source A, B, C, and D. Okay. So here's source A. This is a timeline of violence in Roanoke. You're going to read through it. Okay. And then you're going to go to the next slide, which is slide 6. And then it says source A, timeline of violence in Roanoke. Read the source on the previous slide and answer the questions below. So these are your 2 questions. These are little post-it notes, so if you double-click, you'll be able to type or double-tap on your iPad. Okay. So these questions, you need to use source A, which is the timeline, to answer these questions. Okay. So number 1 describes the settlers' relationship with the natives. So go through here, read about what happened during the timeline, and try to figure out what the relationship was with the natives. Then it says, describe the settlers' relationship with the Spanish. So again, go back to the source, read through here, figure out what happened between them and the Spanish, and tell me about the relationship. Okay. 1 second. Sorry, I had to sneeze. All right, so that's source A. Source B natives around Roanoke. Source B is 4 different quotes from people talking to the natives around Roanoke. It's over 2 slides, so slides 7 and 8 are both source B. So read those and then answer the questions 1 and 2 for source B on slide 9. Okay. So we did source A and source B. Then we move on to source C. This is an interrogation transcript of Mr. Simon Ferdinando. Simon Ferdinando was the captain of the ship who brought the settlers over here. Okay, so basically this is people interrogating him, trying to figure out what happened. So again, read through source C, move on to the next slide and answer the questions. Okay. So we did A, B, and C. Now we move on to source D. This is the journal of John White. John White was the person who was like the governor of the colony. He ends up leaving to get more supplies. Then he comes back 3 years later, and this is his journal. So again, read through source D. This is over 2 slides. Source D is slides 12 and 13. And when you're finished reading it, move on to slide 14 and answer those questions. Okay. So to review. You do not have to do this entire assignment today. We're working on this on Monday and Tuesday and on Thursday and Friday. So today I expect you to get source A, B, C, and D read and the questions answered. Okay, that's what you're working on for today. So let me go back to our agenda. It says Mastery Connect test. I talked about that. Lost Colony of Roanoke. Intro video and reading. Source 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is actually A, B, C, and D. I'm going to change that right now. So make sure you get that stuff done for today. All right, that concludes our video. Don't forget to be awesome, and I will see you guys later on this week.